Just going to sit here and I'm going to think about the business. I'm going to pray. I'm going to meditate, whatever it is you do. But just devote some time to just thinking. We often mismanage it. And by mismanage it, I'm referring to our time. We mismanage it because we fail to keep a to-do list. We do not set personal goals. We do not prioritize tasks. We tend to fail to manage distractions. Distractions being one of the biggest ones, this little thing in your pocket that hangs out there all the time. Interesting story, our in-house counsel, I won't say his name, but you all know him. He has recently been on this, I don't even know how I want to call it. Let's just say it this way. He's discovered that his cell phone and social media is a big drain on his time. And so he got rid of his phone, just completely got rid of his phone. And I didn't realize this until I was trying to get docs drafted or a brief at 9 o'clock at night, because in the absence of the phone, he doesn't have email. He doesn't get text messaging. And today he showed me that he had invested in a CAT, C-A-T, the equipment company. And it looks like one of those old Motorola, what were the Motorola blade phones? You remember those? The slings? What were those called? Like a sling blade or something.
I never does know.
Anyway, he now has a phone that is not a smartphone. He cannot access the internet on it. He can only receive phone calls and do text messaging, and that's it. And he said since he's moved to this, he's had more time with his kids, more time to read books, and he's loving it. And I think he might be onto something. I really do. I think that more and more people are going to go to this non-smartphone adoption technology. Not that the technology isn't useful, but if we can contain the use of technology between 8 and 5, Monday through Friday, do we have better relationships outside of the office? Do we spend more time with our wife and kids or our husbands or our families? I don't know. But it's a big distraction. And I have gotten caught up in the whole, looking at shorts. And before you know it, you've burned 15, 20, 30 minutes. And it's like, what am I doing with my life? I just wasted an hour of time. So we got to eliminate the distractions. We must get rid of procrastination. We need to make sure that we're not taking on too much. We need to not be thriving on busy, okay? Now, in the ministry world, there's an acronym for busy called being under Satan's yoke, which means we are so busy doing things that we think are important that we lose sight of what's really important, and that is ministry, sharing the gospel with other people. But that's in the ministry side. But I believe that we also encounter these things in the for-profit side, because we are so busy being busy that we're not focusing on tasks that really move the needle. And the tasks that move the needle are pulling our lists, sending our letters, making contact with prospective sellers and borrowers and note holders that we want to buy paper from. If we're not prioritizing those tasks and doing them first, we're never going to make any money, because marketing is making the phone ring, sales is closing the caller. So if we're not effectively marketing, we've got no customers, we're not going to make any money, okay? Multitasking. You can read every book on the subject, and what you will learn is nobody does it effectively. Now, I would argue that moms do it really well, but what's been proven is if you are multitasking, no one task is getting 100% of your attention, which means it's going to take 3 times longer. It's going to get a less than perfect effort. And as a result is you're going to get a lot done poorly. So do you want to get a lot done poorly, or do you want to get very specific items done really well? So multitasking has to be reconsidered. Do not take breaks. If you're not taking breaks and giving your brain some time to pause and think, you got a problem. Now, I remember I was at a mastermind session, this was years ago, and the speaker got up on stage and he said, I had an epiphany. He said, in all of the things that I do in my business, and this guy's running over 1,000 rental properties and turnkey and acquiring 150 properties a year. I mean, he's got this massive business. And he says, I realized that of all of the tasks that I have to do in my business, he said, the hardest one is to just stop and think. And I thought, that's a very profound statement. How many times do you just stop everything that you're doing and just think? Probably not very often. I know that I have to invests time for thinking. Just, okay, I got an hour. I'm not going to look at email. I'm not going to look at social media. I'm not going to answer the phone. I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to think about the business. I'm going to pray. I'm going to meditate, whatever it is you do. But just devote some time to just thinking.